Welcome, everybody, to Unified Champion Spotlight. My name is Craig Tornquist, and I love my job because I get to interview the stars of the inclusion revolution. And I am particularly excited about this program today because I have been to the school a couple of times with our assembly the last few years, and they are a small school doing really big things in Indiana. The name of the school is Madison Grant Junior Senior High School. It's about an hour north of Indianapolis. And today we have four guests that have done great things with Champions Together. We have two wonderful special ed resource teachers. One of them is Mr. Klein. He's kind of the father of Champions Together there at Madison Grant Junior Senior High School. And Mrs. Deckard is in her second year with the program and is going to be the one that carries the torch into the future. And we're very excited about having you on board, Mrs. Deckard. And we've got two outstanding students, and both are members of the Unified Bocce State Championship team. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But Nancy Chappell is a senior this year and was a member of last year's bocce team as a partner. And you're also on the golf team, is that right?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to ask you about that in a second too. And Rudy Lopez is an 8th grader there and on the Unified Bocce team, and is the only 7th grader, last year he was in 7th grader, that I know that's won a state championship in anything, and that makes his resume a lot more impressive than mine. So I want to start, I'm going to spotlight each one of you when I ask you a question. Mr. Klein, I want to begin with you because this kind of all started with you. How many students are in Madison Grant Junior Senior High School this year?
Madison Grant is a 2A school with about 600 students per grade level. So that puts us about 600, give or take, students at Madison Grant Junior Senior High School.
So that's grades 7 through 12. So you have approximately 100 students per grade level. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right. And yet, even with that small number, you have done something that very few high schools in the state of Indiana have done. That is win or earn the Champions Together Unified Champion Schools banner. This is your 5th year in a row that you have earned that. Is that correct?
Well, we're starting on our 5th year. We have won it 4 years in a row. And the cool thing about it is we are the only school in Grant County or Madison County to qualify and to be a Champions Together Unified Champions banner school. So that makes it even more special.
And there are 5 schools, high schools, I think, in the county, and you're the only one of those 5. That is very impressive.
That is correct. Yes. We're pretty excited about that.
Well, it's not by accident, though. It's by, I know you, and it's been a whole lot of hard work on your part and on the part of the students. Why have you personally chosen to give so much of your time to Champions Together?
Well, Craig, it's kind of personal for me. My brother-in-law came through the special ed program at Madison Grant and was involved in Special Olympics. And so we kind of got to go see him play at the state games. And it's something that I had a heart to. I believe in the Champions Together program. I believe in the things that they're doing. And I love seeing all kids be successful. I mean, it just lights, you just get lit up when you see, you know, those kids doing something great out on the athletic field.
And as a special ed teacher, you deal with these students on a daily basis. I want to ask Mrs. Deckard. Mrs. Deckard, you're on the front line every day there at Madison Grant Junior Senior High School. What do your students specifically benefit? How do they benefit from Champions Together and from the whole concept of unified sports?
Yeah, I think the biggest benefit is just that inclusion piece where everybody is able to be a part. So I think the biggest thing is when we have a unified event and you can't tell the difference between who our partners are and who our athletes are because we're one team. It's not like this segregation thing happens where it's like, oh, we're here just to help these kids. It's like we're all one team. So I think that's the biggest benefit of Champions Together. And I personally am super excited because my daughter has chose to be a partner. for this season. And so I'm just super excited as a parent as well, just to see how she sees the importance in making sure everybody's included, that we all can participate together, that we can all be the same team.
So you get to share the day together and the season together.
Yes,
Very
absolutely.
good. What grade is your daughter in?
She's an 8th grader.
Very good. Very good. Well, speaking of students, we've got two of the best right here with us, and I want to talk to Nancy right now. Nancy, I'm very curious about you. You were a member of the Unified Bocce State Champion team last year, and you're also on the ladies golf team there at Madison Grant. Can you kind of compare for me the two different teams and what they have in common?
Yeah. One thing they have in common is the teamwork. Both of them, it feels like more like a family. In each of them, they share common goals. Like on both of them, you try to do your best and, of course, win. But at the same time, you're having fun while doing that.
And have you made some friends through Champions Together? That is there someone that every time you see this person, you can't help but smile?
Well, specifically, there's a girl on Oak Hill's basketball team. I don't remember her name, but she always makes people smile.
And how about there at Madison Grant? Is there a friend that you've made through Champions Together in your own building there?
Probably Rudy, because he is always happy, and he always tries to do his best.
All right, Rudy, you've been called out, my friend. You got a fan over there in Nancy. It's your turn, Rudy. Rudy, what do you like most about being on the Unified Bocce team?
Well, I like how basically that, I like how when you, so I like it when, I don't know what I'm saying. So I like it when basically you, when you get there, it's not just babysitting and you have, and this is like teamwork, and some people don't really get the concept of teamwork. So in Champions Together, like sometimes it teaches them if they don't really get the whole concept, which I know some people that don't, and some people also see that Champions Together is just like another sports team, or not sports team, but just another sports thing. But it's a completely different thing, and it should be treated as its own thing.
Tell me about practice. When you guys get together practice, what's the first thing you do when you get together?
Well, usually we just set up the thing, like the whole, well, while we're setting up the field, then we tend to chat and like think of possible strategies.
And is there someone that you really you've made friends with on the team that you really look forward to seeing?
Yes, I have 2 people.
Tell me
One of
about those
them
people.
One of them is a girl on my team. She's super nice and super outgoing, and she always wants to make other people smile. And the other person is like the same. And this time, and he's like, he's not really. He admits that something he's not really good at, and that he thinks he should just give up. But sometimes I think that sometimes I just convince him that he should just keep going. And then me and him admit that it's probably the best to keep going.
So when he gets down and thinks he ought to quit, are you one of the ones that's encouraging him to continue and persevere and keep going?
Well, I wouldn't count myself as one of them. There are many people who do the same thing, but kind of yes.
What's your favorite part about being on the team? What do you like most about it?
Well, I like how I like the inclusion of how other people can. I like the inclusion of how other people are able to make friends even if they're not on the same team, and some people even like go. And some people even like get their phone, not their phone, they like get their number so that way they can just chat and be friends even though they're on a different team.
So you're making friends from other schools through this.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. That's very cool. All right. Mr. Klein, I understand that the trophy that you all brought back, was it the first state championship in the history of Madison Grant Junior Senior High School?
No, in 2002, our girls varsity team won the Class 2A state championship. And so we are the second team to win a state championship. And so it was pretty cool.
I've never won a state championship. Can you walk me through that day last year? Give me the timeline of how it started, the event, and I want to know even afterwards when you came back. But just walk me through that day from your perspective.
Well, when we got to Carmel, just the atmosphere, we pulled the bus in, we parked down in the valley because the soccer field's in the valley. And so when we walked in there, you see the big ESPN signs, and I'm looking at all these courts set up on the soccer field, and my team is they're just like in awe of what's going on. The music's blaring, and we kind of set up our little camp on the court, and it's just the atmosphere of seeing all the teams. Kids are interacting, and you can't tell the partner from the athlete. And so then we got into the competition. We got ourselves to the championship game. We faced Indianapolis Cathedral. They're a 5A school, I believe. And just the opportunity when I knew that we had won, it didn't really sink in with our kids until we got to the award ceremony, and I'm watching my kids get medaled. And then we get handed that trophy, and I'm going, wow, I have never won a state championship before. And now I just coached a group of amazing athletes to a state championship, and to be able to bring that home. And so I let a couple of our kids carry the trophy. Of course, we got our picture in front of the ESPN sign. I'm calling our AD, Mr. Plovic, and our special ed director, Mrs. Wybrew, and saying, hey, look, this is what we're coming home with. So we got on the bus, and my kids are going, you know what, we just won a state championship, and we're coming back next year to defend our title. And so that, putting it in the trophy case, wow, just a really cool thing to be a part of.
That is awesome. And there's a lot of that story that I didn't know about. Nancy, I'm going to ask you, as a dual sport athlete, what was it like walking back into your school with a state championship trophy?
I mean, like you said, this was only our second state championship trophy. So it was really cool to be a part of that and say that like we have the state championship trophy, because not many people can say that. So that was really cool.
Rudy, can you unmute yourself there? I've got the same question for you, Rudy. What was that like to walk into that building and know that you just won a state championship?
Well, at first I thought we only faced one person, and if we won, it was like a 50-50 chance. But when I walked into school and saw how big the trophy was, only then did I realize that it was a much bigger deal than I thought.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel like a winner, Well, also, like I helped the carve the path to like future champions togethers for our school.
Mhm.
You absolutely did, and you get to enjoy that for the next 4 years or so. You get to be a part of the story as it moves into the future. Speaking of future, Mrs. Deckard,
Segue.
Mr. Klein has announced that he is retiring at the end of the school year. And that means that I understand that you've agreed to carry the torch into the future for Champions Together. What are you most excited about having this on your to-do list for the next few years?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing I'm excited about is I have such a terrific mentor to model what we're going to be able to do. And then the next thing that I'm super excited about is just the potential I see with our group of students. Like, I mean, Rudy is in 8th grade, so we're going to have him as a member of this team for several years to come. And hopefully his enthusiasm and love for what we're doing, that just trickles down. So that's what I'm most excited about, is we're in such a good spot right now, and just building on that, I think it could be huge. And so that's what I'm most excited about. But I will plug, I am super sad that I will no longer be working with Mr. Klein. I don't want to like overshadow that at all.
Well, Craig,
Go
I've
ahead,
got to
Mr.
say,
Glenn.
I've got to say that having Dawn on board thrilled my heart, because I didn't know if that was something she was interested in. And it was funny, we had our first call out meeting for Champions Together, and she said, well, I'm here, because she kind of was in the background. And I kind of looked at her and I said, are you going to carry the torch? And she said, well, I'm here. And I said, super. I couldn't ask for a better person to turn this over to. So we make a good team. We think a lot alike, and we're going to make sure that this year, we're going to finish out this year with a bang.
Cool.
For sure.
I wanted to ask Nancy, were you part of the delegation that went to Daleville High School?
Yes, I was.
All right, so you've become an ambassador for Champions Together, and I understand that you and your friends actually convinced another high school to get involved with Champions Together. Tell me about that meeting.
Well, at first it didn't like sync what we were actually doing, but once we like figured out like they're trying to do this and we're helping them, it was really cool because we were like helping Champions Together grow into new schools, and then we can teach them on how we can do it so they can do the same thing.
Were you excited when you found out after your meeting that you were successful? I mean, you were persuasive, and they decided, you know what, we want to be like Madison Grant.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Very good. Rudy, I got a question for you. Rudy,
Yes.
what advice would you give to a student who isn't sure about getting involved with Champions Together? They don't know. What would you tell them about it?
Well, I tell them that if they don't want to do it, then they don't have to. But a reason I would give them is that it would make their school look a lot cooler than what they already are. And how if your school does it, then you basically just get a bunch of cool awards like medals and trophies.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Mr. Klein, last question goes to you.
Okay.
So you are nearing retirement. Where does Champions Together fit into your career in terms of prominence?
Probably at the top. Got to give me a second here. Told my wife today I wasn't going to get emotional. So, and it's
No
hard.
problem. Take your time. Take your time.
Champions Together, it's just a big part of who I am. Because because I told you earlier, it became personal, and I just the opportunity to bring something to Madison Grant and to watch it grow, and to see the things that we're doing, and to see kids' lives being changed because of it. When I look at our leadership team, and they're excited about meeting and when are we getting started, and then I see our athletes come up and say, look, when's bocce ball starting? I want to be a part of it, or basketball, or the elementary track meet that we go to work. So I have to put it at the top of my list. If I had a bucket list, which I don't, it would be at the top. Just the joy that I've gotten from it, just being able to see kids grow. That's the blessing.
You four, I cannot be more delighted to be with you right now. And I want to thank you all for your leadership and congratulate you on your state championship, and just let you know that you are inspiring schools all over the state of Indiana, and also you're an example nationally. And so you should be really proud of what you're doing, not just what you've done, but what you're doing. And I look forward to seeing all of you at the state championship. And I'll be there playing the music, and hopefully I can wave at you. I don't think we're allowed to shake hands, but I can wave at you.
Well,
so anyway,
here come the Argyles.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, and keep up the good work. And I'm looking forward to being in person with you soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Madison Grant Junior
Thank
Senior
you.
High School. They are the best.
Thank you.